So Malvo, what happened to one of that true guy, your goalie? When I was with Clutch's team, did he um did he quit on you guys, or did he still play with you guys? Because that guy.
Yeah, no, he's still with us. I don't know. I came home late that night and got everyone on, and I was sitting for that game, and I heard that it was kind of a blowout, and he quit. So, but yeah, no, we've talked to him, and he's good to play. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that works out, I guess.
Well, welcome VGHLers. We are here doing our VGHL podcast. Yeah, we're ready to bring it to the AHL. Season starts tonight. Let's start out.
Woo! Yay.
So the first team up is going to be the Albany Devils. Last year this team was led by Doug. Obviously, he's moved on to the NHL, so the team's going to look a lot different this year, as most teams will. Captain this year is going to be Bobcats.
Hey, Bob.
He plays goalie a lot in LG, but his primary position in VG is right wing. So who knows where he'll end up. He does have Tripp as a goalie also, so who knows. Another highlight of his roster is Nick X98, and Murphy, last time I've played with him, he's been pretty solid, and he went for a .25. And also Simple, I guess some people are interested in him. I've played a couple games with him, but I don't know. I wouldn't imagine he'd be worth 2.25. He also has a couple other players that went for a little bit in bidding. What do you guys think about this roster?
Yeah, I think Simple is probably worth a little more than 2.25, but yes, I would say he's worth that much.
Yeah, he's got the skill. Joscal, in my opinion, that's a steal at $1 million. I go way back with him. I've played a lot of games, and he's a very solid winger, in my opinion.
Gotcha.
And Mike's always been a good player. He's tough to play against.
So they went with a 10-player roster. They only have 1.25 left in cap space, so they're pretty tight. So this is either a set roster, or he's going to have to make some moves. Do you guys think he's pretty much has his roster, or do you guys think he's going to try to make some tight moves?
Yeah, it's hard to say right now, but I think right now you might stick with this. If I were him, I would.
Yeah, because when you're at that minimum 10 players, you can't do any 2-for-1s. You can't really uptrade anybody.
No, you have less to play with there.
Yeah, so you'd have to do a 2-for-1 and get something out of it. It seems, it'd be more of a mistake on the other management team if he wants to upgrade any of his positions.
Yeah.
Alrighty,
I don't know their assistant. I haven't seen him before. I don't know a lot of people though, so what am I saying?
See if he has any stats. Maybe he played in the PHO or something,
I know Bobcat's a fairly good guy, so I'm sure he's got a good assistant with him.
Yeah, last year he was on Albany. He averaged 2.64 points per game. Over that, then he kind of floated around in the AHL until he reached Albany. So I guess he was kind of just a jumper player last season. So I guess we'll see where that takes him.
And they got the Bears tonight and the Devils tonight. Wait, no, they are the Devils. Sorry, the Bears and the Monsters.
All right, well, on to the Condors. Obviously, vibes on this team with One Hit Pony. They have Alternistic, Minor Threat, Hockey Fantastic, Intro. Got some interesting players. Kind of a surprise player for me that they picked up was Alternistic. He plays center and goalie. Kind of interesting. He can definitely be a noise in the lobby when you're in a game. So they have 6.25 left in cap space. So they definitely got some significant space. Do you think this is a team that's going to be making some moves?
I think so.
We will have to see. I don't think so, but he could. And he had an interesting way of doing his bidding this season. Vibes.
And you want to elaborate on that?
He went on like the last 2 days. He did all of his bidding.
Underdog. He wants to be underdog, maybe.
What position do you guys think they're going to be moving for out of the players that they have on the roster? You got to see they have some D-men. They don't really have that many wingers, but I don't know if that's maybe because Vibes is planning on playing a lot of games.
Yeah, they might have a couple set guys. They know that they're going to run most of the games already.
Yeah.
You might have something up
when you run 10, you kind of have to be that way. Do you think maybe they're interested in some of the players that are going to be coming from WC and free agency?
Could be up his sleeve too, yeah. I lost my fucking... For some reason, I can't see the roster anymore, so... Just give me a second, I got some technical difficulties,
Alrighty, well then we'll move on to Big Tim Centers. Let somebody else has anything to say about them.
Nope, good luck.
Oh, good luck. Okay. So next is roster is filled with some familiar names. The captain of this team is Crazy Leaf. I haven't heard that much of Crazy Leaf myself, but he did pick up some known players, starting with Sick Chewbacca, Fletch Eating Alien. They're definitely two kind of known players in the league. I'm surprised Sick Chewbacca didn't go for more, honestly. And also he has a go-kart racer who's been around the league for a little bit. So they have some, definitely some talented players and some experienced players on their roster. They also have Roddy and Fletch, another interesting player. And obviously their big contract is CB Thomas 28. Went for $3 million. Their highest paid player on their team. You guys think he's gonna be worth it for them?
Let's hope so.
They got .75 left in cap space. So if they run into some fines, they're gonna be forced to make some moves.
Yeah, it's tight.
Now, sitting at 12 roster players, they could move somebody. You think they're gonna be a team that's gonna be selling with some of the known names that they have? Or do you think they could be trading for them for maybe more talent, or what do you think their move is from here?
Hold on, I'm just trying to pull up the fucking roster so I can see it.
Not sure.
It's a pain in the ass.
Oh, how much do you guys know about Crazy Leaf?
I don't know personally.
I don't really know their captain and their assistant.
Yeah, I don't know any of their management.
Oh, you got another one in here now.
No, it's welcome to the chat.
Thank you.
Fashionable.
Hey, when dinner calls, dinner calls.
Man's gotta eat, yeah.
Oh, you know.
No, I was gonna chime in and say that, Thomas and a guy like Alien might be two guys that might end up getting the call up. One of them, obviously. That could be the reason why their roster's a little bit larger.
Yeah, that could be something in play there too.
Yeah. They have quite a number of two-way contracts, but they would have to be ELC, so it'd be in question of if their NHL team has ELCs to spare or not.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess we'll see how that helps to work out. Moving on to the Sound Tigers. Led by a familiar name in Benson. He's been owner before. He was a captain. He was last year. He managed in Tampa Bay for a little bit of time. Before that, I believe he was on the Comets. I believe they did not make the playoffs that year, is what I'm recalling right now. So, given his AHL experience and some NHL experience, do you think that kind of gives him a advantage over some of the newer AHL owners and captains?
Yeah, having some experience always, definitely helps. I think. I mean, he's, in my opinion, I think he's picked I hope he's listening right now. He's picked a real shitty assistant, a sleep tech. That guy's a bum and a half if I ever met one. Just a quick shout out to Tech.
He has some familiar names on his rosters too. He has the Chief. He has Chris Joho.
Noodles the quiet goalie.
And then also they have D. Austin.
Yeah, I don't see
How do you think this team will fare? They're 12 roster sides. They have 1.25 left in cap space. And Metropolitan.
Well, just because Tech's on the team, I'm hoping they don't do too well, but that's just me, right, Tech? No, it should be good. They look like they got a solid roster.
Think they're gonna be in the playoffs?
Oh boy.
Maybe
I think everyone's gonna be in the playoffs.
Well, you can't say that about everybody. Somebody has to in the bottom seat. Somebody has to be the San Jose of last year, you know.
You know, I think this podcast, whoever's on it next week's gonna have a lot easier time to make judgment calls after seeing how the first week's actually played out and how some of these teams have fared and what the results look like. I'm interested to see what, even after tonight, what it's gonna look like.
Fair enough. All right, then we'll move on to the Charlotte Checkers, led by McDavid, who's a returning captain from last year. Their roster highlights: they censored me, the Appler, Brazilian goalie, Czech sniper, which is a pretty good signing at .25, and Lazy, which is also a pretty familiar name around.
Yeah, I like their roster. They got a good deal on Timmy too. Timmy's a good center. He knows hockey real well.
Yeah.
I think and Lazy Eye's a good goalie too. He was on my LG team and he played center a couple
I would
games.
imagine with Brazilian goalie's contract at $3 million,
Yeah, exactly right. So
he'd be at least playing 6 games, and then
you'd hope he'd start. He'd be the starter.
Yeah, that's what I would imagine on this roster. They also only have .75 left again. Another team that's running really close on the cap space. Is this going to be a trend in this season where teams are going to have to make cuts because of fines? Or do you guys think these captains know what they're doing enough to be right on the line?
Let's just hope they know what they're doing,
You hope so.
Gotta leave a little bit of money there for leeway, just in case.
Yeah. Because
Now,
right
the
now
one thing with their roster is that they have Dubs. Dubs might be an ELC candidate. He's one of their higher paid players, same with Brazilian.
Yeah. Has anybody ever played with Dubs? What's his stats look like?
Dubs, yeah, Dubs is solid. I've never really seen him play offense that much, but he is a decent defender.
Oh yeah, it looks like from his stats he can definitely light it up. In WC he had 4 games played, 17 points. Last year on Dakar in the PHL he had 9 games played and 20 points. It looks like he averaged last year in the PHL about 2 games per game, and in WC he averaged 4 points per game.
Yeah, he's definitely I think more of a defenseman than a forward, but he's got the ability to play both.
I think he's his primary position is right wing. Do you think the majority of his stats are from right wing, or do you think they're from defense? Because if these are defenseman stats, these are amazing defensive stats. If he's a forward,
I'd say they're forward stats since it's his primary position listed. But having someone like that being said, having someone who can play right wing solid and also be able to play defense at a solid pace too is nice to have.
Alrighty then. So that caps off the Charlotte Checkers. You guys think they're gonna be in the playoff picture in the Metropolitan Division?
I'm gonna make this call off their last game they had on January 23rd, 2017. No, they lost 14-4. So no, that's my call.
Different team would be
Yeah.
nice thing. On to the Chicago Wolves. Led by Creep and Jay Steffens. This roster features quite a number of familiar names. You got Beand, you got Geno Snipe, you got TKD Awesome.
Talent check's a good forward too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a good team overall, I'd say.
They have 2 mil left, and they have 12 people on their roster.
Nice, nicely done.
Now, is it our first team from the Central Division? Do you think they, you guys saying they have a solid roster? Do you guys think they can lead it?
I think they'll be.
Yeah, I don't know about lead it. I don't know if I want to say lead it. But
Top
I definitely
3.
Think, yeah, definitely think they're gonna get there. Probably playoffs for sure, I'd say. With what they got right here. And they still have some money to spend, which is nice, you know.
Yeah, they have $2 million, so they could definitely pick up a more higher priced player. And having 12 players on the roster, they could always do a 3-for-1. So they could definitely pick up that high quality player. Alrighty, so moving on to the Lake Area Monsters, or the Cleveland Monsters, whatever you want to call them. Although I think most people are switching over to Cleveland Monsters, as that change happened at the end of last season. Let's see. So, I don't know that much about either of the owners. I don't know where they spent their last seasons. Although from talking with them, they seem like pretty good guys. Since I'm on this roster, you know, they seem like good guys to me so far. But do you guys have any comments about them?
Yeah. Unfortunate pickup there in OZIP, I see. That's unfortunate. I don't know. Management suspect there.